Hi, hello, and welcome to the Daily Tarot Buffet brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess of Losi. I'll be your oracle today. I was sent to deliberate the findings for the transiting moon into Libra. If you're new, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. It is a delight and an honor and a privilege to serve you. Thank you for allowing us the pleasure to do so. If anything resonates deeply with you, go ahead and comment, share, subscribe, leave a review, book a session, send a donation. If you can, please and thank you. Go ahead and smash that like button right now. You belong to Welcome Home. Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. Today, we will be imposing the guidance from Thought Tarot. That's by Aleister Crowley. Is illustrated by Lady Frida Harris and published by U.S. Game System. Here at the Daily Tarot Buffet, we typically talk about daily energies. It comes through the moon, so that actually happens to be every other day. But we follow the moon transiting through different signs. Apparently, we have this ascending energy. It feels uncomfortable, but I'm gonna obey and go with it. So we have the Queen and Eight of Swords clarifying this death card. So there is some type of transition, some type of ending, and we are working through Libra season. We're coming right out of Virgo season. So the moon right now during the Libra season is transiting the first house. So that's illumination, enlightenment, or illumination and intuition is going to come around our direct desires, passions, motivation, also our life path, spirit, karma, destiny. The first house is part of the Dharma Trikona. So typically, the Lagna, it basically gives us a reset on our life, but according to the energy of the event, which is a lunation, a lunar event. The moon is going to give us extra intuition. It's going to give us extra insight. Okay, I actually laid the descending energy, and that was what felt uncomfortable when I was casting that. So we're going to have insight and intuition about our path right now. Okay, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. It's getting a little hot in here. Pardon me for just a second while I adjust my wardrobe. Yeah, so I have here the Queen of Swords and the Eight of Swords. So Queen Eight, Queens are needs. Eight is rule, regulation, restriction. When it comes out with the Queen, it can mean needing somebody to yield to our authority or needing to put a slowdown, a blockade, even a quarantine. And I'm hearing that collapsing portals, quarantining dimensions, locking doors, closing windows, blocking gates, removing any ingress, meaning access, entry into. And when we have the death and the okay, so we're gonna go lightning fast. When we have the death and the empress, it's typically because there's some type of change. It's change in abundance, change in conception, gestation. So we may birth something that we've been nurturing, creating in the background. It could be literal, figurative. Mirroring this is something coming through, something coming forward. We have the Three of Wands. Now that is some type of so with the Vita Sibilla Daily Oracle by Los Scarabeo, we're clarifying this Queen and Eight of Swords is militare, needing to have a strategy, a tactic, an operandi. This could be moving in secret, moving private in some kind of way, shape, form, or another. Is being about something in a kind of way. We're preparing for happiness to come in, the heart to be open and vulnerable. It can't even be love, but typically it's trust, closeness, warmth, vulnerability. Maybe even wooing. Maybe we're wooing or influencing somebody else, or that's happening to us. So we've been working through rules, regulations, restrictions. There was some type of restraint, and it might have been something needed to be wrangled down to handle, grab the reins and kind of reel it in. It's almost like we closed a portal, we collapsed a portal here with the Eight of Swords and this Imperatrice, the Empress. Now, there could have been a little bit of judgment. I'm feeling it was celestial, but it was spiritual. The Eight of Swords is a card that means maybe this is not well known, but when the Eight of Swords is present, it's the alligator spirit. So if there is some type of weighing something against a feather to see if it's heavy with an unwelcome and unwanted energy, entity, frequency, vibration, the Lord of Karma itself came through. I'm actually getting the word Sobek and the word Anpu, which is another word for Anubis. Sobek is the alligator spirit, and Anubis is the death spirit. Sobek is the spirit that devours your heart if you don't pass judgment, devours the soul if you don't pass judgment, if the heart's too heavy. So we had to kind of firm up in some kind of way, get a little hard, get a little sober, austere even. Because there is to create a new beginning, but we can't bring this into the physical. We can't handle this up. We can't anchor this in unless a couple few things happen. Because it's saying something's already started, and what started is this choice, this favor. It's coming in, it's coming through. We have a pair of tens here, which means there's a culmination of a cycle. We also have this Ten of Wands with the Temperance card, which means number one, Saturn in Sagittarius. Number two, it could mean Saturn in the ninth house. Number three, it could just mean Saturn energy, regardless of the planetary aspect. Saturn is the cosmic break, the cosmic discipline, the cosmic task maker. So there could have been some constriction, restriction according to our flight, especially of the mind, especially of the soul, the spirit soaring. How were we interfacing with the collective in terms of conditioning, programming? What were the things that we were given, we inherited to aspire to work towards for the entirety of our life, especially the developmental places and spaces in our life? Because we're moving to this place where we're being chosen, but what that comes with is an illumination, enlightenment, but it's actually a breakthrough that comes after breakdown. This enlightenment comes with a revelation, a sign, a call out from the heavens, some type of rapture or redemption, period. This revelation, this enlightenment doesn't come, this breakthrough doesn't come without a redemption, a rapture of some kind. But the end of it, or the evolution of it, I should say, is the Nine of Cups, is some type of highly blessed, favored, chosen, anointed. We've made it in some kind of way. Our eternal life is secure. Because the wish is granted, but it came through what we contributed as a soul to the all that is, the greater consciousness. So we had to overcome some lower energies. We needed strength, courage, and wisdom, emotional fortitude in terms of the groundwork that we laid. And we are a golden goose. And so I think there might have been some kind of backstabbing, betrayal, exploitation as well. But we needed to set something down, let it go, let it die. It's just one of wands is what I'm getting. There might have been a backstab, a betrayal, ultimate betrayal with this Ten of Swords. Something we fell all the way down to the ground and we had a rock bottom. Well, here's the deal, my dear, my sweetie, honey, darling child. Let me tell you how this works. A little secret of life. Betrayal never comes from the enemy. You learn so much more from a rock bottom than you ever do from a mountaintop. An enemy can teach you far more than a friend. What came with this was some kind of purification and cleansing. Cleansing. We broke a spell, we broke a drunken stupor, we broke a hex, we lifted a curse. Because there was some type of karmic cycle with this Ten of Wands. Now I'm getting a little bit of sorcery energy. So there was some energy, entity, ideology, probably an enemy, that was using our energy, using our domain in order to gain a leg up in the physical. It might have been some type of exploitation. We've broken free, canceled something out with this Ten of Swords. It's breaking a hex. It's canceling all cords, all contracts, all agreements that are not in alignment with the greater being. Now here we have a pair of Pentacles, culmination. So we're closing on a cycle. And when we started with the Death card, that means we're putting a period, turning the page, finishing the chapter, maybe even finishing the book. Hopefully, shutting the book, closing it up, and moving on, moving forward to a new one. Now the Death card and the Temperance cards mean the end of moderation. And also be losing patience. Yeah, so the Three of Wands, something is coming. It's the second time we've got the Three of Wands. Something's approaching, is coming forward. We're about to manifest something. Yeah, my dear, listen, we have the King of Wands here in this energy of the sixth dimension. So that's the archetype. That's the unified timeline. The highest vibrational aspect is what the sixth dimension is. It also stands for the energy of the shared energy. Because again, we're in this Queen of Swords. And if we are dealing with another party, they're the Nine of Pentacles, it could also just be our higher self, our future self. However, the future is bearing upon the present and the right now, right here. Nine of Pentacles. So whatever investments we've made, we're fruitful, we're fertile. If I'm calling ourselves the golden goose here, because of the Queen of Pentacles, well, we have the Nine of Pentacles. The groundwork's been laid. If there were investments, they are reaping, they are yielding. If we did sow some seeds, we're harvesting, we're reaping. Because the higher energy is Eight of Pentacles. So something's being worked on, something's trying to get up in our energy. And if that's the case, they're being left to their own devices because we've canceled it now. You know, I rebuke, I revoke, I rescind, I reject, I repel. I decline times nine, I negate times four, I shut the gate, I close the door, I unbind, I unravel, I unlock, I unblock, I untether, I uncouple, I unveil, I uncross. I command the energy stolen from me quickly return to me and decree anyone who took my love shall return it to me with interest. I decree those who took my energy shall return it to me double. I declare only my own karma, Ten of Wands. So we have a narrative now. Let me break it down for you, break it down. Ooh, fine. Okay, so that is a rubric or a runic spread. It basically says this sacrifice here is some type of bond, some type of union. We might need to let it die. Ten of Swords. We might need to cancel out some type of tether, some type of bond, which means that they don't necessarily hate us. They are on the same kind of page in some way, level, shape, form, or another, but we might be, you know, tapping into some of their karma. So we need to create a new beginning, and this comes from being unencumbered or be a different ace. The Ace of Wands, it needs to be free, or it always is demonic. It's the gate to the red gate. Let's say that it's the gate to the lower world. Now, there are ways when it couldn't be, but you must be unencumbered. And here it's saying that there's literally a swapping of karma. We have a Ten of Wands and a Ten of Swords here. We have a Ten of Wands and a Ten of Swords here. So a lot of the cards are mirroring. We have a Three of Wands here and a Three of Wands here. A lot of the cards are mirroring each other. Oh. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles means needing groundwork to be laid, needing something to be set up. Because now we're dealing with the Five of Swords and the Star card. So that could mean somebody has their Venus in the 11th house or in Aquarius. It could also mean that we're dealing with a false light, some type of counterfeit throwing of imposter energy. This Queen of Pentacles. So we're the real deal, the authentic, genuine article. There is another energy, entity, ideology here that needs to put something to rest or bury the hatchet. We might be getting the life that somebody else always wanted, and we might be getting it what appears to be effortlessly. English, come back to me, effortlessly. And they may have been doing 3 times as much as we were doing to get half as far. And I'm just going to tell you right now, that's because they're on a different path. They have a different purpose and mission in this world. And if they're not answering their calling, they're basically looking over the shoulder, counting our blessings. Once they find the path that they should be on, even if they don't get what we're getting, they're going to get what they deserve, and they're going to love it because they're in alignment. They're always going to be worrying about us if they're out of alignment. And so, of course, they were trying to swap places or swap karma or whatever, what have you, because they weren't happy with their lot. Now, they may have given it up or forfeited it, and it may have also been ancestral, generational. It may have been inherited. The Ten of Wands could be a generational curse. But the Ten of Swords is curse breaking, hex breaking. So, Tore here. So, they were supposed to be some type of confidant, advisor, consigliere. Yeah. Consiglio. So, they came from a protected and a counseled source. They came from a place of some type of practical skill or knowledge or access or power. But what this is we need to bury something. We need to put something to bed, and it's an older person. It doesn't necessarily need to be age. It could be seniority, tenure. It's saying here that in about a week or so around the 30th, whenever the moon is transiting Capricorn, it's not going to be a major event, a full moon or a new moon. It's actually just going to be whenever the moon decides to move through Capricorn, something's going to happen. There's going to be some kind of revelation. They may admit that they lost their chance or that they've been ruminating on whatever it looks like it's coming to us. In some kind of way or another, they're going to share out loud, maybe not to us, that they're upset with how we're being blessed. They don't understand. But you see, that means they're questioning God. That I'm just going to put that out there and move on. And maybe that's the relationship that they have. That in and of itself on its face isn't bad. But, in this house, we yield to the truth, we confront our karma, and we serve the goddess. There's a way to do that where our life is effervescent and overflowing abundantly. And oftentimes, when it's not, it's some type of correction. Because if you're lacking and you're wanting, it means you're not in alignment. Now, that might not be a philosophy that's universal here for everyone watching. I just want to say, or listening, we're on different platforms, but I just want to say that is what I'm getting. They feel like they've lost out because there's still some hope, wish, pray from the past where they're conjuring up some wounding, some yearning for a day that's long since gone. It's yesteryear and it's forever no more. Uh, this isn't getting any kinder. It's a little somber. So they're running into being a frenemy, and there might be some love-hate energy that's becoming bitter. And there is a large sense of falseness as well. So that means that our presence, our energy in the environment surrounding location may cast the light into their shadows. Through our sheer presence alone, regardless of what we do, how we behave, perform, contribute to the environment surrounding location, our energy itself illuminates or enlightens, or I'm just going to say it, exposes their being. So whatever person, place, or thing we're dealing with, and whatever environment, surrounding location is being inhabited, our energy exposes them as some type of counterfeit or false light. Yeah, so there is some type of justice coming. and it's not the best for them. They're going to need to detach. They're going to need to let go, and it's not a where they feel like they won something or they got something. They're really just going to need to abandon ship or abandon plans or shift, refine their look, their viewpoint. Feeling detached is what we are. Page of Cups with the Four of Cups, and it's the Hermit energy. So we've withdrawn, we've gone within, we've sought wise counsel or wise teacher or wise teaching because we're an attendant to the divine. We have the hotline to source energy. And this is an energy where they're going to have their last hurrah and they're going to fight really hard for a long time to get very little. And that's if we're dealing with another party. If we're dealing with ourselves, this is the energy. It's another person since the knight is here, but let me just say this abstractly. It may have taken a while to build some type of pulpit, some type of platform, some type of throne. And it's going to come through us feeling grateful for the things that we've been given, even if we weren't very happy about them. Everything is a step to the next thing. We don't need to be future pacing always. Head in the clouds, eye, in the future. But I am hearing that, Chaka Khan, butterfly in the sky. What is that, reading rainbow? I can go twice as high. Yeah, take a look. It's in a book. Yeah, I can be anything. Yeah, so the sky's the limit, but the thing is, it's in alignment with the divine. It's not about free will versus divine will. If you're getting well and getting down and getting everything you want with free will, it means you don't have a sacred mission. You don't have a divine calling. A sacred calling, a divine mission. It means you're not chosen. But look, we're staying here, we're staring right here at the page of cups as the chosen child. So no wonder we're feeling a little bit disillusioned or detached with the Four of Cups here, because we need to take a look inside. We need to explore the recesses of our heart, of our mind, of our soul, of our spirit. Find wise counsel, turn within. The answer's already there. There may be some type of Virgo rising Mars or Virgo. There might be some type of, again, Virgo rising here. It's confirmed. So we're wanting fruitfulness. We're wanting things to pay off. We want to put energy into things that come through, come forward. We want to know what the strategy, the plan, the agenda is, or we have some type of modus operandi here, and we want to push the issue further. But the thing is, that's entitlement, which will become anxiousness. It will make us sick trying so hard. It it's a futile endeavor, foolish endeavor, because it's a fruitless one, because our base assumption is incorrect. I want to say we really want things to be fruitful and to pay off. That's fine and it can happen, but we might need to confront something. Are we wanting the things we've been doing thus far to pay off, or do we just want to have a fruitful life? Because we might not have been doing the right thing. And it's not about right or wrong, it's was it in full alignment? It might be partially there, 25%, 50% in alignment, and then the other isn't. And remember, delayed obedience is disobedience, especially when it's to the divine. And the divine doesn't always need to be Allah, Buddha, Shekinah, Jehovah. Oftentimes it is, and I would say that it is. It could also just be the higher self, the future self. It could be the collective of our deceased loved ones that we call those the benevolent and ancestors, the ascended masters, the pure, bright, blissful beings that have come before us that are, are at spiritually what we want to be. It could also be the guardian angels. It doesn't necessarily need to be, Allah, Buddha, Shekinah, Jehovah, Pachamama. Alibaba, Skydive. It doesn't need to be all of that. Oftentimes it is, and I believe it is, but I'm going to put that out there. Whatever technology we use to access the all that is, some people even use science, reason, logic, the collective. It's a part of you or the part of the world that's bigger than us, greater than us, loving, caring, and kind. So we have a knight and a nine of pentacles. It's giving me that we want something to pay off, to yield, to bear fruit. And I am reminded of Jesus cursing the fig tree. The reason was is that the fig tree had leaves that would attract people over to it, but it had no fruit, nothing to sustain. And that's the thing. It's like a lot of what looks good is just Instagram filters. It's just a facade, a falsità. Yeah, because we're harboring a resentment, pre-resentment. We're feeling some kind of way that things aren't just going the way that we want. And you know what, darling? I do get it. I really do. But this could also be somebody else if they're fighting to come in and to take over whatever we got going on. They need to find something of their own. They need to find them something to do. You're never gonna find a hater doing better than you. That's how life works. You know, if you go to the gym and start working out, you're never going to find a ripped bodybuilder person making fun of the person at the first day of the gym. If you're standing next to a real estate mogul, the real estate mogul is not going to make fun of you for buying your first little duplex investment property. If we're starting a business, the tycoon owning conglomerates around the world is not going to laugh at our little LLC or sole proprietorship. You know, the person who runs 10 miles a day isn't going to laugh at us for lapping the block a few times and being short of breath and gasping for dear life at the end. Hey, we put a foot out the door. We made some effort. We can do better tomorrow. You know, you're never going to find a hater doing better than you. That's just how it works. Okay? If somebody's trying to take you down, it means they're already beneath you. There's plenty of room at the top, but most people don't believe that. They were never told that, and their mind, their little heart, their little soul cannot ever get close to imagining that that could be the thing. There's some resentment, la inimica, that somebody really has it in their heart, a little bit of hatred and animosity. And that could be the Five of Swords. It could be love-hate energy. Because there's either delayed news or we're being invited out to play or we're dealing with some type of Gemini rising, Venus in Sagittarius in the ninth house or the seventh house here. Because new love, new groups, new affinities, we might be really well connected to somebody and they're really a friend of me. We may have known them 10, 15 plus years and think that they have our best interest in heart. Something's in their heart, best interest at heart. Something's in their heart, blocking true, brilliant, abundant joy for us that's effervescent and overflowing. It's conditional. And conditional love is not real love. It's a transaction. It's transactional. It's not unconditional. I have to say this. Let's move on. I do want to say that over the last few weeks, something was being worked out, but it's the entry into new people, places, and things, into new groups and places and spaces. I'm sorry. Something here is going to end, and it's going to be a revelation. It's going to be a shakeup. So there is something here of an opposing mind. It came out with the Two of Pentacles. So that is a swap. Because somebody else here, the road is closed. And we got the Two of Pentacles again in the clarifiers. So there's an upheaval coming. We'll know more about that in a moment. When the Two of Pentacles comes out this much, it means somebody is trying to swap places. Now, on another end, because this is, you know, the same energy hits us all, but it manifests different according to our vibration. There's another energy here of somebody present trying to attend to the situation, maybe even bringing an apology. Only 50% of these apologies are going to be authentic. Some of them are going to be imposter, false. It's called the repose of a false heart. They're being loving, caring, kind, generous, giving, vulnerable, open, truthful, because it suits them and it's convenient and it's better than the alternative. But when things change, they will change. They are of an opposing mind too, so it's period, point blank, end of story. And this pair of twos, which usually means, some type of partnership, it's gonna turn itself around. They're here to get what they can get out. And once they've gotten out what they want, it's not that they'll turn on us, their authentic self will be shown. And they might have a way of knowing their true authentic self too. There's an energy here of whatever energy is mirroring us, whatever this other side is, there's an energy here of wanting switch, wanting to swap, wanting to change spaces, places. They're literally looking for some type of loophole. They're searching for one. Now, the truth here, this is a miscarriage, a loophole, full in the hangman. It could also be a delay in the new beginning. Now, behind all of this cycle, we're looking for a way to find love, and love is not always coitus copulation, sex or bed pleasures. It very well can be. We're looking for our tribe, our group, people that know, like, and trust us, that they see us, they feel us, and they understand us, where we have our chosen family, where we belong. I'm hearing that song by Kimbra, I Want to Belong. I'm tired of being a stranger to myself. I want to belong. Basically, we're tired of seeing review, brake lights and headlights, people coming and going, never staying, never growing together, working towards something, whether romantic, filial or congenial love. So over the next 2 months, we're going to be finding places and spaces where we really belong. There may be somebody with their, okay, first of all, I was saying before, half of these apologies or forgiveness or seeming to smooth something over are going to be fake, false, phony, fictitious. Seven of Swords with anything makes it an imposter energy. Now, also, it gives us hidden enemies. Something here has been there all along, but it's hidden. And that's going to be the revelation that there's been small or minor manipulation, and that the eye on the prize has been cleared to everybody for a long time but ourselves. Meaning there's an energy here of something benefiting or from our brokenness, our unhealed, our unawakened self. It was easier when we were broken, when we were stuck on stupid. And they're leveraging our origin story to police us to where we were in terms of the position and the dynamic. Now, said differently, because we shouldn't be talking about another person, but another person keeps coming up. 3, 5, 7. If it's the swords, also including a 9, a knight, a queen, the devil, or the 2 of pentacles. Those all refer to other people. We have a pair of 7s here, so that's an alert, and it's manipulation. 7 of cups, 7 of swords, that's manipulation. Gaslighting, smoke and mirror, glamour, facade, falseness, unhealed, unawakened, illusion, delusion, confusion. There may even be the slow incremental poisoning of something, whether verbal, physical, emotional, spiritual. Seven of Swords, fake, phony, fictitious, side bit, sneaky, seditious, trifling, treacherous, treasonous. Now, there was an agreement here before we came in to the physical. Before we incarnated here, we made an agreement, and this, whatever the side the person is playing, this energy is, they're going to be left behind. And that is the truth, my dear. We're going to move for source to contain the situation, and it's going to abandon or leave the person out. We're going to have to bind them, strip them in some kind of way, Five of Pentacles, because their ideology doesn't work. And even if it's not another person, I mean, it's our former self. We probably used to have some stinking thinking that wasn't working, that was trapping us in a life that we didn't want at the bottom of the barrel. Because there's going to be conflict resolution, but it's not actually going to be substantive, cogent, salient, germane to the matter at hand. Meaning it's not going to be fruitful to move forward. Whatever conflict resolution does come, whether it's with ourselves or with another energy, entity, ideology, whatever conflict resolution comes along, it will serve to show that moving on, moving forward together is a fruitless endeavor because it's foolish, it's futile. It's a fruitless endeavor. Now, there's a lot of strength here, audacity with this other side, whatever energy is mirroring us. It might just be our future self. And they're really good at a scheme and a narrative that's meticulous. There should have, however, been something that was being worked on or worked towards in terms of ownership. So if they put this much time into owning and building and creating something for themselves that they did put into taking from everybody else, the story would be much different. And it's saying that this has been going on for upwards of 2 weeks. That's kicking off whatever results we're about to deal with. When the Nine of Wands and the Tower card come out together, it means the end of somebody's like audacity, their entitlement. And then we have the Death card that came out as clarification. Yeah, something here is moving very strategically, like a sleeper agent. But we've had a couple feelings, and so we knew to watch out for it with Belvedere Melancholia. We had some foresight, Belvedere. We were hoping this would be the joy of our heart, but we actually see that this might be a snake in the garden lying in wait to nip at our ankles and poison us with venom. Okay, so mostly timing is this hand. And this whole time it's been talking about another person pretty consistently, so that's rare. For this spread, it's not even designed to pick up on another person's energy. So if it comes through strong. And Libra does rule relationships, partnerships, but since it's transiting our first house, that's normally more of a solitary house. It's our strategies, passions, motivations. It's our own energy. Now it can talk about what comes across the path. So what comes across the path is going to be enemies, entities that don't need to carry forward with us, that need to be left behind. Persona non grata, unwanted person. So we're dealing with some distress, and that's what we're moving out of. It's been a distressing couple of weeks, and in the next 3 weeks or so, we're going to walk out of the cycle complete, whole. It will have taught us something, because some certain things would have been revealed. They would have become manifest when before they were latent. Moon and the Seven of Wands over the last week. So there's right now expansion, and there can be some craft work in general, probably spell work here with a pair of eights, manipulation, marinating, oscillating, vaccinating, ruminating with the pair of eights. time and indulgences with the pair of eights. But you see, once we level up and go with the divine, things shift. Emperor and the Hierophant. So let me just say it like this. Hierophant is God duties and obligations. Emperor is duties and obligations. So with the emperor is according to our role, inception, implementation. With the Hierophant, it's according to the sacred oath that we took. So they're both duties and obligations, but one is God duties and obligations. We're the chief here of our tribe or our house or something. Our self-governance, self-mastery, it comes through spiritual ordination, whether it was physical in the spirit or in the flesh. We didn't always go to seminary and get ordained or whatever. Sometimes we were initiated by the angels. Probably the order of thrones here, the Ophanim, because the bubble does burst. And we have to regulate this disappointment with boundaries and strong and stern communication. Because there's anxiety here. Somebody has some illusionary success and they're looking over the shoulder thinking that the other shoe's gonna drop. Yeah, it is gonna drop because they're not spending time, energy, effort, and attention manifesting what they want, what they need. They're spending time, energy, effort, and attention trying to cover up what they've done. And so since they're putting so much energy into what they've done, they're actually manifesting the revelation of that instead of manifesting the ushering in of whatever life they want to create. We have this reading is not pleasant, man. We have the Chariot with the devil. So that usually means business underground, going to a dark place, going to the underworld. It also means that somebody made it big, funny money, complex occupation. Somebody got the glory, they got the goat by doing something else dirty. Maybe a person, maybe a place, maybe a thing. It could be anything from stealing, lying. It could be anything from polluting, diluting, distorting. It could be anything from being in a precarious or an underbelly of an industry. The devil and the chariot. Queen of Wands, Two of Wands. That's wanting options, needing options, needing options. They need to cycle out of the Six of Swords. They need to find their way out of hell, especially with the Six of Swords and the devil. That means the river Styx. We're dealing with Chiron here. When right before there was some type of Knight of Swords. So they need us to give them the thing they need to make it through the cycle. A missing piece of information or some type of feigned forgiveness. It's a poor choice that was being made most of the cycle. I mean, it's not on our end. So we really need to lean into our intuition, High Priestess and the Wheel of Fortune, because that means luck through some type of destined intuition, destined gift. We've seen some kind of writing on the wall. You know, we're closing here with Castle. It's time for healing, not war. I'm getting the energy that something behind the scenes has been fighting off our blessings, whatever's coming towards us. And that's probably going to stop. But we've also made the best out of a difficult situation. And that doesn't make sense to somebody. But again, they're at a lower level comparing energy when they really can't compare spiritually. It's been an honor and a privilege and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing me to do so. If anything I said resonates deeply with you, go ahead and smash that like button. Take good care. See you in the next one. Das vidania. Agua sayonara. Arrivederci. Ciao.